we have to be serious. We're going live
Yes,
now.
we got to be serious.
That's right.
Now. Ha ha!
Oh my God.
What? Am I loud, cameraman D?
I don't know.
Well, all I know is I'm showing my undershirt. Hold on a minute. I'll fix this in just a moment. There, look at that, cameraman D. There's no stylists or makeup artists around here. Sheesh.
That was apparent. We all know that.
Yeah.
We know that already.
This man talking in the background, you know him. Here's Luke.
I guess I should look at the camera.
Yes,
Not
let's
at
look
you.
right at that camera.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, look in there. Tell them who you are. If they don't know, they don't know.
That's right. Hi, good morning. I'm Luke Gygax, probably patient zero for Dungeons and Dragons. The great good fortune of being raised into the household of Mary and Gary Gygax. So my dad is the co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons, and I run a convention called GaryCon, a memorial convention in his honor in Lake Geneva, our hometown, every year. And I meet all sorts of strange characters there, including this guy over here.
Yes, me.
Alphinius Goo himself. Yes.
And we're supposed to be sitting next to each other. I don't know why we did this. Kind of weird.
But look what I have done here on the screen.
It's very good.
Oh, my God, look at that.
So I can look up and look like this. Hello, Luke. Yes, you are looking good over there.
I
Yes.
guess I have to
We
look down
could
at
be
you.
anywhere.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, you can look
Yes,
down,
absolutely.
Right?
Yes,
You look
little
very-
man.
Yes, I am a
thank you.
tiny Alphinius. Ha
I'm a giant.
ha!
I'm a
Actually,
giant,
really,
Luke.
it does look quite. I do feel quite intimidated right
I
now.
actually like this much better because you're a little bit bigger than I am. So I think I get used to
I
it.
may be larger. I can't say bigger. You, that Body by Gygax thing is. Tell our friends about that because it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I retired from the Army in 2022, and I had a little bit more time on my hands then. I don't anymore, but it's gotten
That is
busier.
your own fault.
It is. I have no one to blame but myself. But I hit the gym a little bit just because I found it was therapeutic and kind of a healthy way to spend some time. And I'd always enjoyed it, just didn't have enough time. And people asked me, hey, what are you doing? And I said, well, besides getting a CPAP, which helped my sleep and rest a bunch, I've just been going in lifting weights and things, but I'm not a certified trainer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. So I said, I don't want to dispense advice in that regard, but I do want to encourage people in our community and to move. So I just said, pick a goal. What do you want to do? Do you want to be able to walk around the block? Do you want to be able to deadlift, 600 pounds, whatever your goal is, set that goal for yourself and 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, get in the gym and do it. And then post about it. And I started a Facebook page called Body by Gygax Challenge. We were about 6 months out from GaryCon 16. 17's coming up. Sorry, 16. And I was amazed. I think we have over 500 people now who are part of the group.
Yes.
And so many people are just, they've really built a strong community where people share their ups and downs, their, mostly their ups, but of course there's challenges along the way. Stuff gets in the way. You may incur a little bit of an injury, right? As you're doing something and people are there to bolster you and support you. And, really the whole goal for me is to encourage people to avoid some of the things that can plague us if we
sedentary
don't move.
lifestyle health issues. This
Exactly.
is what they are. And all of us gamers sit around on our butts a lot.
Yeah, high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure, so I'm trying to moderate that through lifestyle changes as well. And certainly diabetes is a consequence.
Yes.
There's people who have cardiovascular issues that'll come up and get you. And I don't want to see any of our community sending us social media posts from the hospital and that sort of stuff. So
And we have lost some of our friends because of these circumstances.
yeah, and even James M. Ward, who was someone that was a good friend of mine. He recently passed away in March, due to many things, but he battled diabetes for a long time, and he was a huge proponent of not doing the same mistakes, not repeating the same mistakes that he had made. So there's that, and I'm working with Tommy Rice, former NFL football player.
I know that guy.
Author. Yeah, Tommy.
He's
Another
bigger
guy.
than both of us.
I'd say another guy who makes me look small.
He's very large.
I'm like 6'3" and like 275, and Tommy is like 6'5" and like shoulders wider than mine. And
Yeah,
just
he
huge
hasn't
muscle.
got a lot of fat on him, and he probably
Doesn't.
weighs 300 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Was Tommy at Gen Con?
I didn't see him.
I don't
didn't
think
see
he
him at
was.
all.
No,
Oh,
I-
okay.
I didn't see him.
I saw him at San Diego Comic-Con the weekend before.
Nice.
And he was there. So we're working on getting an app together that will help kind of gamify fitness to an extent because, hey, we love to play games, right? So if we can make some form of movement and exercise into a game that you can play with friends, that I think will encourage more and more people who are gamers and maybe even folks who are outside of our immediate community to move, build new friendships, and have a healthier lifestyle, and be with us at the table even longer.
Speaking of games,
We like that.
Yeah. Did you play any games this weekend or run any games?
No,
this
we were at
weekend?
Gen Con, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good time. Oh, Peter runs quite a convention, doesn't he, Luke?
Yes, thank you, Peter Atkinson and Dee. They're wonderful hosts.
Oh, Dee is magnificent.
Yes, they're.
Do you
awesome.
know? I met first, so you don't know this tale, I don't think. So we did a portrait of Peter's father.
Gary
And-
Atkinson.
and yes, and so we wanted to do something nice. So anyway, we presented this, and Dee saw it, and she gave me the biggest hug and had tears in her eyes, and it was a wonderful thing. It was very, very wonderful.
Yeah, Gary Atkinson passed away, gosh, a year ago now? Is that
Yeah,
about
a
right?
year.
About
And
a year.
lived in Colorado.
Yeah.
So Peter would come here every once in a while. So
Yeah,
that
and
was
so
wonderful to see him when he comes.
yeah, I met him in probably 2018 or 2017, oh boy, maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah.
2014 maybe, when Chaldea was brand new, when we was just rolling out Chaldea.
Just beginning.
The Chaldea studios. I worked at the booth at Gen Con for Peter, and his dad did too. And so I got to meet his dad there. Found out he was a retired Army officer. He was a Cav Scout, as well as became a chaplain, and retired out. But he always wears Stetson because he is a Cav Scout at heart.
Yes.
And so I would see him at Gen Cons and have a great time. And then, of course, saw him have a health decline towards the end there, unfortunately, and then he passed. And because Gary was so cool and Peter's a great guy, at GaryCon, we have the Gary Atkinson Memorial Magic Tournament,
It's marvelous.
which is a mouthful. But we did the first one this year, and we're going to carry it on. And it was fantastic. We had a great turnout for it. Daryl Judd and James Till, who are kind of godson and godgrandson to Gary Atkinson, were there and running the tournament. It was really cool. And then Peter came and was a gunslinger, and this would be on the side and be like, he'd take all comers, like, you want to get
come
a
on.
magic card, gunslinger. And that was so popular. People loved it, and he had a great time. So yeah, what a great event. And so Peter's a great guy. But yeah, Gen Con.
Yeah, well,
Gen
it
Con.
was great.
Yeah.
It was. It was, I believe, the largest attendance in a long, long time, if maybe perhaps a record. Right?
It was a record breaker. They sold out 71,000 people was, I think, the figure that I saw. I don't know if that's official. I think that was early projections. But they sold out before the convention.
Yeah,
before.
which has never happened because it was all 4 days sold out.
Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of Gooey people were there. It was fun to be there with the Gooey folks. And
I have a video to play.
oh, do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Hold
Here
on.
we get to show a video.
Okay, give me just a second.
Here we go. Kill this form to be risen.
Very nice,
Yay.
Camera Mendy. Very nice. I saw you and Bushra in there, my friend.
Yes, she was on the Gooey game show along with Miriam.
Yes, they did great, by the
Yeah.
way. Yes, in fact, Miriam was helping Bushra, right? So she, in case because Bushra was looking at the character sheet, she was unclear on a couple of things, and Miriam's like,
Yeah.
Miriam is definitely a superstar.
oh yeah,
in the
no,
making.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, both of them are.
Yeah.
But Miriam, and it was interesting because when we were out last night, I was fascinated. My life is creative, right? This is my life, and here she is telling me she likes to write.
Mhm.
She does music, right? All of this stuff, right? Which means she is that creative side of that's really a myth, that left brain, right brain thing, but it's metaphorical, right? But she really probably, and you say she also gets good grades. So
does.
she got a lot going on, sir.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's doing well, and she's taking a bit more interest in gaming as something to do in the future. So I know she was looking at statistics, being oh my gosh, I forgot what they call it when you do statistics for a living.
Yeah,
Math.
statistician.
It's-
Statistician.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
It's right there in the word. I was drawing a blank. Early onset
yes.
Alzheimer's, yes. So she was looking at that, but and she may study that along with music, right? Those are her love. She likes math. She likes music. She likes writing and history, of course, as well, and politics. But I think she was looking at where can I get a good, secure job easily out of college, making
Good money.
$100,000.
Yeah, making good money
right?
because it's hard to live out there in the world without a good income. It's really hard.
It is, and I think that'll that sort of background will serve her well. And then if I can kind of school her and keep her, also train her on the business side of running Gen Con and Gyzaengaxx works and that sort of thing. Because someday I'd like to retire.
What?
Doggone- Wait,
No,
you
no.
just did retire.
I don't think
I'd like to retire again.
You just did retire, sir.
in gaming you're in it till you're gone. I think that's the deal.
I
There's
told
no
you,
retirement.
Mandy, you got me for about 10 years. I'm not sure after about age 72, 73, I'm gonna be any good to you. I'm
I don't
sitting
think
here
that's
doddering.
true. I think you're gonna keep going until you're 90 something.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got to do a little more work in the body by Gygax.
Yeah.
You saw Miss Goo last night. Luke.
Yes.
She's in good shape.
Yeah, she looks great.
She
She's
hits
doing
the
well.
gym every day, and
Wow, we have a level 7 hype train. Just FYI.
All right.
you know about the
Yeah.
hype trains, Luke?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they mean.
It means that people are like cheering bits and other things like that, and then Twitch says, "Yay, that's good for you. It's good for us," and
Yeah.
they make a hype train.
Yes.
So it's kind of like Soul Train. If you remember,
Well,
do you remember Soul Train?
I remember. I love
Okay.
Soul
A
Train.
Soul Train was
right?
pretty fun.
So that an American Bandstand. If you are old, you understand what we were
We just lost
talking
everybody under 40, or maybe
You're like,
45.
Soul Train.
What's that? Don Cornelius. I never heard of that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you liked. So in the old days, when you only had television
Mhm.
and there really was nothing else, right? There was a couple of music programs called Soul Train and American Bandstand.
Yeah.
And they were hosted by
Dick Clark?
Dick Clark and
Don Cornelius.
Don Cornelius.
And Don Cornelius
Don-
had that
Yes,
voice.
he had that
he had a great voice.
It was so good.
It was like James Earl Jones kind of voice. It was great voice. Yeah.
You have to admit, in Star Wars, the first time Darth Vader spoke, you were like, whoa.
He's my favorite character. Always has been. I love Darth Vader.
Well, the thing is, you got a villain who really has a reason.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just yes, so it's character flaw, but there was other things that happened that drove him. Right.
Yeah.
And of course, when we learn later that actually those factors were being manipulated,
Mhm.
right, to actually push him in that direction, it was a very, very wonderful character. Great character development by Lucas and the rest of them.
If you're new to Goo Morning Zyathé, this is what we talk about all the time. Soul Train,
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen, here's the deal.
we really analyze.
We are about creativity, gaming, fun, and just enjoying the community. And we are going to talk about Gygax because I'm excited to talk about that.
Yes.
Right? But Camera Mendy, I need to ask about this first.
What?
You see this little thing, this little box? I received this little box with a cryptic note inside. See this, Luke?
Yes.
I'm going to hand this to you in a moment.
Okay.
But inside is it is a squishy gooey cube.
It is a gooey cube,
Yes,
literally.
you must
All right.
evaluate this for a moment.
Okay.
So Camera Mandy gave it to me,
Hmm.
and it had this little cubey thing on the back, and then inside it said, "It is dangerous to goo alone. Take this, and beware of the secrets of Gen Con." And I think it's Walter Wilt, but I'm not sure.
Do you know who Walter Wilt is?
I do. Why would I not? They're on the Facebook. So is it, or you said you were sworn to secrecy, you wouldn't
I am
tell
sworn
me.
to secrecy.
I don't understand.
I don't think that there's a Walter Wilt in the
I think
Facebook.
there is a Wilt. W-Y-L-T. I thought there was.
You don't
Now
know.
remember, I got to keep
You
track
are-
of
you-
3,000 people.
You are no. Who's,
So this, in other words,
I
you're
will
telling
say,
me
who's-
this is a cryptic. This is a cryptic. This is not Walter Wilt. Is a cryptic individual. This is not really Walter Wilt. This is someone else. See, Luke, this is the things that happen.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say something.
All right, cameraman, say it.
There is a very well organized file on the Google Drive that you refuse to touch.
I'm
The
always
one that I have tried to show you many times.
Luke.
The one, and if I feel that maybe if you just looked at that drive every once in a while, you might have more of a clue of what is going on.
All right.
Where's the fun in that?
Yes, I agree with that. That's pretty fun though. That squishy thing.
Yeah, it feels like a big giant gummy bear.
Yeah.
A little bit sticky. So
yes, I could definitely stress ball with that thing all
Yeah.
day long. So, all right, cameraman, I will figure this.
They want to see the drive. They say open the drive.
Well, you can open the drive.
I
don't care.
will. I will.
I don't know what this means, right? I don't.
Yes.
I don't even know what a Google Drive is. Okay, that's not true.
Okay, I'm gonna
it's a
open the drive.
Google Drive.
You're gonna.
So,
You're gonna.
I'm gonna give you a hint that will help you.
You're gonna have to open up the Google now. Okay, while you're doing this, this is another thing. You know, there is this Luke. You know about the snail,
Yes.
escargot.
The escargot, yes.
Yes. So this snail, the myth of this damn snail has grown exponentially. Now, I believe it was started by Patrick Kinney.
The escargot was actually started by Dennis.
You're right. It
Calendar.
was Dennis. Dennis who began the whole thing, and then Patrick Kinney
Yes.
exponentially grew it, and the shenaniganators, right? Marcus and others, right? All of them started getting involved in all this. But I now know very unequivocally that this new snail that is in our gaming group, Escargot, the Facebook page,
Mhm.
is not Patrick Kinney. So I now suspect Marcus. But I don't know for sure.
I know for sure.
Well, of course you do, man. You know, she knows all the secrets, Luke.
Anyway, but let me show you. But although I did like Patrick's Fermatraz, that was pretty funny. Okay, so here's the Google Drive. It's the custom character portraits Google Drive.
Oh, so it's one of the characters.
And I have put together this amazing cheat sheet here. And you can find everybody's character with their
Okay,
portrait.
show me Lucas Gyzaengaxx.
Okay, so he's in Gyzaengaxx.
Wow,
Or no, Gen Con.
Andy.
And
put him in glasses?
so
No, he's in
Yes.
Gyzaengaxx.
Gygax, it is right. Sorry. There's just
I know.
all
I
these
do wish
Gs.
it wasn't both G's. I wish Gen Con because Gen's Con and
Gen Con
Gyzaengaxx,
and
right?
Gygax. Yeah, so here's all the people so far that
And
we
Gooey
have.
Cube.
There's
And
Lucas.
G is big.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lucas is right there.
All right, let's see. Bring it up. Click it up and show it big.
Well, I can't show it big because
Why?
it's just a little thumbnail. But
It's just, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Luke gets it.
I don't know that I really. And, oh wait,
Yeah.
below
It's just a
that, look
tiny
at there's
thumbnail.
Matt,
Yeah, there's Matt
and
Everhart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
right above is right up between you and Matt is Ed Greenwood.
Oh, yes, it
Yep.
is.
So that's.
Oh, and the
how-
ghost of Gerald Gyzaengaxx.
I saw that in there too.
So if you were, I'm not going to pull him up on here, but if you were curious about where to find Walter Violet, you might.
That's where I remember it from. It's not from the Facebook. It's from the. So I have to dig into that. I will find out.
Yeah, I will get you into that spreadsheet
I will
one
now
way or
know,
another.
Walter. Now this is important, Cameron Mendy, because everyone knows, not everyone, but quite a few people know that both Mike and I came back with the con crud from Gen Con.
Ugh, the con cred.
Yeah,
People
and
have been falling like flies.
well, it was bad. You know, in fact, I was sitting there, Luke, because of course you and Marvelous Bushra and your wonderful children coming to visit with us, and I was like, if I'm feeling like this, I can't, I have fever and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell Luke I can't visit with him.
Yeah.
So then, fortunately, my fever broke on Wednesday, which usually means you're kind of past the contagious point. A few, some
I
hours
don't
past.
super want to talk about a bunch of sickness on Goo Morning.
Well, I was gonna blow my nose.
Oh,
Cameron
okay,
Mendy,
so let me
I-
just
you
mute
should
you.
mute me. Is
Oh, wait, I
Yeah.
muted myself. There you go. Now I muted you. Oh, gosh. Sorry, Luke. And poor Luke is on camera right now. This is the worst. This is just such a low budget production. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Very good. So thank you,
Back
camera
on.
Mandy.
That is now a Gooey handkerchief.
Well played, sir.
Okay.
Well played.
You do get credit for a wonderful pen. I do love the pens. Okay.
So listen, so this Luke, so I want you to so let's talk a little bit about Gygax. Can we talk about Gygax?
We can talk about Gygax. I do have
Are
a
we
lot
done
of...
with Soul Train?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I should finish that.
I also
So
have-
anyway, when we were young and there was only TV, you watched Soul Train and American Bandstand, and they would bring on all these wonderful up and coming bands
Oh my God, we're actually going back to...
that you would listen to because you interrupted us, camera Mandy.
That's right,
We were
like-
in the midst of a very
Yeah, you'd see people like Madonna when she was
Madonna
brand new.
when she was brand new.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I
there
mean,
you go.
amazing, right? I mean, I think they had on Soul Train.
Yeah.
I want to say they had
Mike, the
Commodores.
Jackson 5.
Yeah,
were
the
on
Jackson 5
Commodores, yeah.
Commodores. I mean, they had like many of the greatest bands of all time that sort of began.
Not like that hippity hoppity stuff that you guys play now. I'm sorry, I just had to do my old man.
Oh my God.
Hippity hoppity.
Okay, seriously.
No, it'd be like this. It'd be like hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity hoo.
I'm crying now. This guy- okay.
I should never do that again.
We haven't even been drinking. Yeah.
But we will.
Oh, I meant to bring champagne because I actually have very exciting news.
Oh,
Well, where's the champagne?
Yeah.
I forgot about it because I was like working like all night.
Are you sure we
last
don't
night.
have a bottle here somewhere?
Somewhere?
You know what they say, Luke.
It's fine.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
that's it.
Okay.
Wisdom.
Yes, I don't know if it's wisdom or just common sense.
If you have a wisdom
All
of
right.
6 or higher.
So, are you going to tell us the really good news?
Yes. I paid off my student loans this week.
Oh,
Whoa! Yay!
yes.
I know. I'm going to applause that as well.
So, Camera Mandy went to the Art Institute of in Denver
Mhm.
and was very accomplished and could not get a job coming out of college because it was 2008.
You see, we remember this differently.
Wasn't it 2008?
It was 2000.
You remember of the big crash, Luke, and all that
Oh, yeah,
craziness that was
I do.
happening in that time?
Mhm.
And Camera Mandy was, trying to find a job, and she couldn't get a job. And I had like this little company with Colt and Mike, this tiny little company that was doing lead generation in
Oh,
the
okay.
auto finance space.
Oh,
now
yeah,
you
yeah.
see, we go all off the tracks and Goo
Yeah,
Morning,
yeah.
Zyathé. So I needed some videos made, and Mandy couldn't get a job. Now she keeps saying, "I could have got a job. I could have got a job."
Well,
She
okay, let me just say this.
chose to help you
Okay.
as to pad
That's 'cause I'm a-
her resume for
I
future employment.
remember exactly what you said because I was very skeptical about coming to work to make these videos. And you go, Mandy, I've never had to beg someone to come work for me before. It was very sweet of you.
I was being kind.
You were being kind. I will say that I do genuinely believe it was very sweet of you to pretend to beg me to come work for you.
I wanted you to get paid a little money. I mean, it was
I
tough.
appreciate
the
it.
economy was tough. and
So,
we were
but
in
in
a
my
fortunate
little,
place.
in my mind, in my little 21-year-old mind, I'm like, well, I gotta go do my godfather this favor. So I will go work for him. And now it's 15 years later, and I'm still working for him. So
working with me.
working with.
Yes.
True story. And we have been on many amazing adventures.
We have.
And I actually am very good at marketing because I wanted to go make movies. I wanted to go
Jeez.
do movies, but it turns out that really my thing is actually I'm a very good storyteller when it comes to
You
marketing.
are. And I
So-
think you should show the Gygax video.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't have it, or I
yes,
might
you
have
do.
it.
Luke and I'll talk for a minute about Gygax while
Okay.
you dig around.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'll
So,
figure it out.
so we spent part of yesterday, and we're still
Mm.
going to spend a little more time
Mhm.
talking about Gygax.
Yes.
So tell them about how this. In fact, tell them how this craziness began, because this was really almost 2 years ago, right? When we started talking, a year and a half ago, that we started talking about it. More than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think it was. And we were talking about this, pretty soon it's going to be the 50th anniversary year.
Yes.
It's coming up. So, and you kind of shared with me your,
At that goofy place,
What could
sitting
we play?
against the Mithril Mountains called Gyzaengaxx.
yes.
Ah.
And you shared your personal story about how much Dungeons and Dragons meant to you and some of the folks, some of the creators that were important to you, including obviously my dad, and how you thought it would just be a really wonderful thing to do for you personally. You really wanted this something, a passion project for you, and you would like to do an homage, to my father in your way,
Yes.
which is a little silly, right?
A little.
Right, a good adventure, but a little silly, right?
Little
And that's
lampoony.
okay, because levity, my dad loved puns, bad jokes. I mean, if you look at just the spell components in the D&D spell book, in the player's handbook, AD&D player's handbook, I think it's either Shocking Grasp or Lightning Bolt, forgive me for not remembering which one, is like a glass rod and a bit of fur, right? So you make a static electricity charge, right? And then you go, right, touch, it's probably Shocking Grasp, so it makes sense, right? And then Gust of Wind is a legume, right?
Because it's a bean.
Beans, musical fruit, right? So there you go. So this was always something that he would bring up to people when they're like, these are, during the Satanic Panic, these are sinister spells sent from the devil. He'd be like, are you kidding me? Have you looked at any of these? By the way, have you read them and show me how you're going to cast these spells? But if I could do that, why would I be writing them down for other people? I'd be ruling the world. But anyways, that's a little side. So
I love that, Luke. I mean, it just when you ponder that for a minute, it's thoughtfulness, right? It's not just let's make a bunch of spells, right? Let's make some things that are interesting along with them, right? So that I love that. Keep going.
And so it was fun for him. This was his hobby. This was he knew that in his heart, when he created OD&D, he thought it would sell 10,000 copies.
Wow.
Which was an astronomical number back then, right?
Wow.
1,000 copies was a smash success. 10,000 copies, incredible. No one could view. That's just like crazy numbers.
And it's millions now.
Millions, I think they say Wizards said there's 65 million players globally of D&D right now, which is absolutely amazing. So, but you came and said, "Hey, we'd like to do this," and so I said, "Well, I don't know. You look a little suspect, but being a trusting soul, we sat down and had a conversation." That's right. Yes, having a little wisdom, he made his persuasion
check. But I made an
check.
excellent roll.
That's right. Yeah. And so we said we started talking about it, and it turns out T1 Village of Hamlet was really the first adventure I played in as a kid. I was just a little kid. It was a playtest version or my dad's version of Hamlet, and so we said, okay, that's a pretty iconic module that we could start with. And there was a place on the map called Gyzaengaxx, right?
Yeah.
And so we started talking about what that means. And you came up with some really cool art. Who made that art? I can't remember which guy.
So a number. Benjo, Kishore.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the idol. The idol.
Oh, the idol. That was Benjo.
Benjo, yeah. So it was. So I saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, let's go.
You should dig some of those out if you can.
Well, I can just play the video.
Oh, you got the video now?
Okay. Video ready?
Yeah.
All right, that'll have that.
Finish what you were saying.
Okay, yeah. So we saw it and we started talking, saying, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's do it. Let's put some things together. And you came out to visit me in California, and we kind of came up with just a really rough idea of what we're going to do. And as we talked about it a little bit further, it's always good to. I thought, just like Gary Con, right? It's a memorial convention named in honor of my father. But as we alluded to earlier, other people are included, including folks like Gary Adkison, the magic tournament there. Gary's a great guy. But lots of people come to Gary Con who were involved in the foundations of the game, right? And unfortunately, some of them are no longer with us, but I want to remember them. So it's really honoring those folks who laid the foundation for us, and those folks who continue to build on it today, right? It's a way to say thank you and welcome them. And so just in that same spirit, I wanted to include some other folks in Gyzaengaxx, and I thought, well, asking people to contribute is great, but they've all probably done a whole bunch of that before. How about we do something for them in here where we say, can we put you or your version, your fantasy version of you into this city or town, village of Ethelm as one of the NPCs that people can interact with? And by and large, everyone was kind of like, yeah, wow, that's cool. I've never been asked that before. And so they happily threw in.
Yeah, and it's a big list now.
Right.
I mean, it's
like 30 or 40 people. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I could literally show the list because I.
Okay.
Well, show it.
Yeah, show the list.
Oh, do we? Oh, wait. I was just kidding. Okay. Let me show the video.
All right, show the video.
Okay.
Now you have to listen when you're watching the video. Make sure when it comes to the titles at the end, just wait a moment before you kind of lose your focus.
It's like a Marvel movie.
It really is, because Cameron Mandy added just a little bit at the end, which gives you a little hint of something that's going to happen within the tower, along with the many other things that are going to happen within the tower that you will experience.
All right, here we go.
There once was a demon who lost its eye in a most bizarre and awkward circumstance. The eye held much power of evil design, and the losing of said magical orb set events in motion that caused much consternation for a certain archmage who lived in a tower and held the name of Gygax. Yes, my friends, at the foot of the Mithril Mountains near the village of Ethholm, atop a small forested plateau rose the Tower of Gyzaengaxx. But some years back, the wizard disappeared, with many believing he had passed away, and his tower became a place of strange happenings, with dark creatures and fearful monstrosities lurking in the woods below. The place was so dangerous that none dared approach it, for those who had done so lost their lives in most terrifying ways. Over time, the place was renamed the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx, for the wizard had never returned. And now a man in Ethholm, the son of the wizard, has hired a group of adventurers to find out what happened to his father. And thus does the tale begin. Do you have the mettle to assail the dark woods in the tower beyond, to delve into the depths beneath the stony abode, to find your way in the mazes and the tunnels crafted by the wizard's hand, thereafter to expose the mystery and bring forth the terrible secrets held close in the deeping darkness of the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx?
Cameraman, that's a great
Yes.
video. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing something special with that rat. Yes, Luke, we're going to figure
Oh,
that
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. We have some ideas to
Many
flush out a
secret
little bit.
plans.
Yes.
And we even have an idea for the sequel, which will have its
Mhm.
prelude in the
Yes.
beginning, because obviously lots of people are excited for it. So we think,
Oh yeah. There's. Well, I think what we've realized is this is really cool. This is cool. Let's do. And then we're like,
yeah,
this is going to be a crate, not a box set. You're gonna like a milk crate of information. So we're gonna have to leave some things undefined
It's not
until
possible.
later. Yes.
yeah, because just the village, right? Because last night we were with Bushra and your kids.
Yeah.
Miriam yesterday, and we were looking at the maps of just Blund and Ethel, which are already done.
Yeah.
Then we just have to populate them.
Yeah.
And as I told you, right, and as we discussed in the past, I let these artists have a little artistic freedom.
Oh yeah.
And Edvard, who does all our maps, put all these interesting things, some of them which I did not encourage him to do. He just put them in. And so now we have to figure out what they are.
Edvard has been known to put a lot of tentacles out there. So I'm just saying. Oh yeah.
Dad
Yeah.
joke. Dad
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. I can't help it. I'm a dad.
Dad joke alert.
And my kids are in prime dad joke ages. So yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of those last night
We
at the
did.
dinner
They
table.
were great. My
So-
kids appreciate them.
There's a lot of chatter in the
Mhm.
chat.
Chatters in the chat.
I already love the rat and emotionally invested in its future.
That might not
Might
be
be a
good.
bad guy.
Yeah.
That might be one of the BBEGs, because
So-
there's going to be more than one BBEG
Yeah, a
in
lot of
this
people
thing.
are wondering because Ed is writing an adventure that
Yes.
it's called The Trouble with Rats.
Yes.
And so they're wondering if the rat will also feature in Ed's adventure.
Don't know. Unsure. You know, this is all.
We're
this
in the
is the next,
creative
This is the
process
next
right
6
now.
months, right?
Yeah.
The next 6 months is making all of the wonderful stuff, right? Because we got to do both
Mhm.
of the villages,
Mhm.
right? We got to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the village of Ethholm, the village of Blund.
Okay, so someone has a question, but I can't read the whole thing. So can you put it back in the chat, Cassius? Sorry to interrupt. Someone
Why
asked
can't you read the whole thing?
because Harry highlighted it for me to read, but it doesn't give me the whole thing. I have to go. So yeah, restate the question. I will ask
Restate
what
the
the
question.
is.
Yes, if you got questions for Luke, put them in there. Cameraman, keep your eye on that.
Yeah, but no weird questions, guys. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
and
Now I'm concerned.
What cameraman? You saw I put up a post today in the.
I did not see that you did anything today.
Oh yeah, so I got propositioned
okay, here
on
we go.
Facebook, Luke.
Oh, what?
Oh,
okay,
yes.
Stop. Okay, first off, let me read this question.
All right,
and
go.
I'm not even sure if I want to go back to that.
We yes. We,
Okay. Given that Zyathé and how do you say Okarim?
Okram.
Okrim? Yeah. Like to share materials, I wonder what an Okarim version of escargot would be.
Oh.
Okay, I did not even
I think with butter and salt,
Yeah.
an okra version of escargot would be delightful.
Yes.
Little garlic.
Yes.
that's pretty
A
funny.
little salt. a little-
Yeah. Luke is not on the side
I
of the
think,
snail.
I think that's on the edge of the weird question. The category,
It's a weird
Borderline.
borderline.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Jen is asking, what is Al's story about this proposition? Now, just remember that we have young ears sometimes watching our show. So
it's in the Gooey Den. I actually posted it up in the Gooey Den.
Oh my God.
So.
Oh wait, here it is.
You should put it on the screen.
Okay, just give me a second. I can just switch over really quickly.
Here, Luke, you'll like this one. This is
the.
I looked at this.
Is this a Gooey dating app that's coming out? Is this?
That sounds great.
Hold on one second.
Gooey people love.
May
Gooey
all your
love.
adventures be sticky has a
Oh, that's all.
Sorry. Wave a ceasefire. All right.
Mandy's losing it over there.
Taking a turn.
We'll have to contact HR.
HR. Yes,
Okay.
Alphinius Goo. Hello, beautiful. I love your what is it? Post.
And
That's
you
it.
seem like a nice woman. I'm trying to say your request, but it's not going through. So I decided to drop a comment here. Please send me a request so we can be friends. Thank you. Best wishes. Okay, is it in the den that this is happening?
I posted this in the den so people could see it.
I know, but where did this comment happen?
It happened on, I get all these messages all the time. Luke, you get this on your thing, right? You get these messages all the time that things show up, and it's like, you got tagged here or you got tagged there, right?
And you're switching accounts and back. It's hard to keep track of it.
Yes, it's hard. So I don't know. So I cut it out and pasted it up here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to go show the portraits.
Oh, okay. Marvelous.
Okay, so let me just pull that up really quickly. Oh my goodness. What did it? I thought we'd talk a bit more about.
I thought you couldn't show the portraits.
Well, they're in the spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh, so we can talk about, so Peter is going to pay a visit.
Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on one second. So yeah, so you already figured out how like all these.
We do not know. We do not know. But we did talk about having perhaps them do each of them carry some clues or something.
Yes. So I think that's there's a lot of people to include, right? And there's a limited amount of space realistically that we can do that. So there will be some clues that lead you to certain key individuals, which out of, whatever it is, 30 or 40. So you'll have to figure that piece out. You have to do a little bit of puzzle solving, a little bit of that.
Which your dad loved.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And people like to nug stuff out and get an idea, right? And of course, there has to be some sort of time requirement, right? And then you got to gather certain pieces of information or to get to the next part of the adventure. And I don't want to reveal too much, so I'm being very, very, very vague.
Yeah, because we got to be a little.
Well, some people, it would be good just to have environs as NPCs, like what we have at like Darkenhaven or Gloomport.
Yeah, we're gonna have both, but we want to have, we want to try to feature our people. I mean, how come it's not showing all of your? How come it's not showing their text of their characters?
Right. Because some of them don't have the text.
Oh, you just put them in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, as
these people have already. Sorry, keep going, Luke.
I was going to say, obviously, as the DM, you can interact with all the NPCs, however that works, and there'll be, a little thumbnail on each one of them that's already completed. Yeah. But I think I just wanted to include them in part of the challenge, right? So that you have in it, you need to interact with them in some ways to get information out. I just thought that would be neat.
So take a moment, cameraman, go back to the top real quick.
Back to the top. Uh-huh.
And so, of course, we got Peter. And there's Chet Minton, who is right there, and then of course yours truly.
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead from here and just tell us, because this is really, I mean, for me, I almost got emotional when these started coming in, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, in one of our first adventures, like I was going to run it at Gen Con. It's called Dark Tides Night, but literally there's a paragraph that dedicates it to a lot of these people. Like this is well before you met anyone or even met you, Luke.
Yeah.
And Alphinius is like naming all these legends, and like so I was reading it just like a month ago when I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, it's really cool that he's gotten to work with all these people he dedicated this to years ago. So,
yeah, Mandy, Luke, and Luke, I don't know what your youth was like, but for kids growing up in the 60s and the 70s, there's cyberbullying and all that stuff that goes on today, which is tragic. It's a terrible thing, but it was hard. And if you were a little offbeat, right? Like I was a little offbeat, right? I carried weight, a little bit of weight. I mean, I had some athleticism and stuff, but I was a little goofy and I was a little offbeat, and which I'm thankful for because it's why I am the human being that I am today.
Right.
But kids could be so mean.
Oh yeah.
So mean.
Yeah.
And And this game became a respite in many ways for me to get together with my friends, to be able to be the hero when so many people were trying to make you feel like a goat,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean a goat. I mean a goat.
Not like the goat now, but
Yes,
the old goat.
The
Yes,
old
yeah,
goat, yes.
Yeah.
And I am so, and the cultivation of my imagination, and of course now we know things like autism. And you should show Luke while I'm talking. Show Luke so we can.
I can't just.
We
because
can't do it.
I'm
Okay,
on
all
the
right.
spreadsheet.
Let's stay with this then, and I won't wax poetic on this.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Luke. Let's talk about all these.
Okay, sure, great.
'cause you can tell about your dad's relationship with him, your relationship with him, if you'd like.
Yeah, Arrow Otis is just a fantastic old school artist. He comes to GaryCon. He runs games at GaryCon. He may even have a booth at GaryCon 17 because he decided I think he's selling more of his prints and stuff and realizing, wow, there's a pretty big audience
People
for my
love
work.
his work.
They love his stuff. So,
Cameraman, you can't put Luke in the little corner window instead of me?
Oh.
Okay, let me.
Because
hold on.
Okay.
sitting there having me going, while Luke's talking is not that
I think it's kind of funny.
interesting.
Maybe you could just move your mouth kind of
Yeah,
like
I could pick my nose.
Yeah. And people be like, wow, his voice has kind of changed a little bit. It's out of sync here.
Yeah.
It's a badly dubbed.
It
it's
looks like a
badly dubbed
Japanese,
show. Yeah.
1970 Japanese movie.
Yeah,
from
the old-
about-
You want to fight?
yeah.
Fight me.
There we go.
Very good.
Yes.
All right, keep going now.
All right. So Errol Otis, he did like cover of Deities and Demigods. He did the Green Devil Face and Tomb of Horrors, a whole bunch of stuff. So great guy, very talented artist, and still actively playing D&D. Then below that, we have a character created by Margaret Weiss, who co-authored the Dragonlance series with Tracy Hickman. So she just wanted to pick a character she liked and to make there. And so that was her representation. She's also at GaryCon and really nice lady.
Wonderful.
Yeah, she's she would let me play at her hobby shop with the Game Guild in Lake Geneva in the 90s. And I would get on there and play like whatever Doom and various video games. And so she was always very, very courteous. And that's where I ran Gaxmore, Lost City of Gaxmore, way back in 2000.
Wow.
And play tested that. The next guy down is Stefan Pokorny. Yeah.
Okay, I have a funny story.
Oh, yeah.
So Stefan joins us for the game show, and he's been on twice now. He was supposed to be on last year, but he got COVID, and it was a bummer. But he comes off the show, and he was on the final panel, and he comes up to me, and he's giggling, and he's like, "That is so much fun, but I never know what is going on." But he is so delighted, and Anne was like having just such a blast. And anyway, but he's so
Cameraman,
fun.
you got to give yourself some credit. Like 450 people showed up for that game show.
We'll do better next year.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Good. That's like double what you've ever had before.
I know, but there's 1,000 seats. We're gonna fill the 1,000
Oh,
seats.
okay.
I'll
Next
actually-
year, Gen Con.
You just have to advertise Bushra. She's much more popular.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah.
Because we were
Well,
in the
Luke-
elevator.
Will she
We're-
come back again? Because I would love to have her and Miriam back.
Yes. Well, then we got to get Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now I get to ride their coattails. Do you see? Do you
Yeah.
hear that, people? Yeah. I hope my wife's not watching this. I'll never hear that. So, no, seriously, they did a great job and they had a ton of fun. So I bet they would enjoy that as well. And then right underneath Stefano. Oh, who is Stefan? Stefan is
Thorson Large Barrel.
Thorson Large Barrel, and I imagine he's a dwarf.
He is a
Yes.
dwarf. Indeed.
Because he runs Dwarven Forge. He created Dwarven Forge, which is kind of like the Cadillac of terrain, made of dwarvenite. He's also featured in a biopic called The Dwarvenaut, which is available out there if you search it.
Oh.
Anyway, good friend. And so he loves Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That is his jam. He's played since he was a teenager, and he still runs it as if he was a teenager. He's never lost a bit of that
He
passion.
is
So.
not.
Yeah, so he's great. So he's Thorson Large Barrel, Thorson Large Barrel. And then we have Wolf underneath, who is Skip Williams. I've known Skip since Skip was in high school, and I was probably 4 or 5. He works as one of GaryCon's co-event managers.
It occurs to me that I am putting everybody's email up on
Oh,
the screen.
that's probably a bad idea.
Can you make this?
You may not- well, yeah.
Yeah, let
Yeah, that's
us,
okay.
Let us,
So, hey,
let us undo.
Can't you just push the screen over?
I will.
have I shown you this
But
Gooey
first-
cube? It's pretty cool.
All right,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
y'all. No taking those people's emails and doing anything with them. That would be uncool.
That would be.
Yes. Okay. That is my bad. I will take down the Twitch stream and put it up on YouTube. So that way, but let me fix
You
that.
can cut it
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Oh my God.
So, but anyway, just telling the story of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luke, you began to reach out to
yeah.
all these folks.
Yeah. I just shot him an email and said, hey, we're doing this thing. We'd love to include you as as a character you would like to be there based on yourself, or a favorite character or something like that. So that there would be people in this town. And some people, they're just like, well, it sounds kind of cool. And they would give me a call or email back and forth a little bit. And then I would, they'd say, yeah, that sounds great. And I would hand them over and we'd get one of the artists to, well, they'd send a picture.
Yeah,
they'd send a picture and a description of kind of what they thought their character was like. And then we'd do an artist sketch and then they'd go from there. And some, a few of them were like, that's great the first time. And some needed tweaking a few times to get it right. And then boom, we had this portrait and a little write-up, and they're ready to be
way
in the town.
more than we thought originally.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
and people have come out later that were saying they would like to participate in the next one, which is great.
Yes, that is true.
Well,
and,
maybe once they find out about the email situation.
That's right. They may be like, well, we've reconsidered
giving away my emails.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Well,
because I bet there's people as I've traveled around more. I bet people like Sir Ian Livingston would probably be willing to do it. He's a really great guy. He's cool, and I bet he'd get a kick out of that. So
absolutely,
it'd be good to go international with some of the
I
the
actually
folks
think
there.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, because there's some dudes that just Team Forged Games. There's obviously Sir Ian Livingston.
I'd like to get Jeff Richard.
Oh, I don't know about that guy. I don't think we have to scrape the bottom of that.
They're digging down into the Cthulhu, the world of Cthulhu.
Actually, I love Jeff Richard. I'm going to go visit him in a few days here because he's also in Colorado, and his family, they're very lovely. So, but I still have to razz him.
Of course.
That's how it works.
We know how he is.
that's how it works.
Guy.
Yeah.
And I also, I had a chance to talk to Rebecca, and we were very close.
Yep.
But at the timing, I just, was not. So
it wasn't quite right. Yeah, it was pretty soon after Janelle's passing, and so but maybe for the second one we could dedicate it.
And I'd like and I'd like to have Janelle and Rebecca in there if we.
That'd be great. Yeah,
I think that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
So
all
right. So we got Skip.
Oh yeah, we're at Skip, and so Skip wrote third edition, but he's been a gamer forever and a day. I still remember drinking so many Cokes. Oh, so Coca-Cola as a kid. We were poor. I didn't get a lot of soda, and my mom wouldn't let us drink soda. But I went to Skip's house to play D&D.
Yeah,
and he let me drink as much soda as I wanted. In fact,
you little rebellious boy. You.
That's right. I got sick to my stomach. Had to sprint to the bathroom and get rid of some of that Coke. So anyway, that's a Skip Williams story. We were rolling 3d6 straight for characters back then. Yeah. So crazy
I'm telling
stuff.
you, ended up with a 16. You were pretty happy in those days.
Yeah, holy smokes, that was great. A lot of 7s and 8s and things. Like,
I told you about Flavius Milo, my friend Dirk. He had a 4 constitution. So every time we got into combat, we had to roll if he could actually breathe enough so he wouldn't pass out.
Right, you'd be severe asthma. If they had a 4, we might just say, well, you know what, they didn't make it.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
New character.
Yeah. So Mike Carmichael, probably a cleric. 'Cause I think Mike played the first cleric, if I remember if I have my lore correct. And also old friend. He wrote Fitz when he Fight in the Skies or Dawn Patrol when he was in high school. Longtime gamer. He's been to every single Gen Con. He co-wrote along with Dave Arneson and my father, Don't Give Up the Ship, naval combat rules. So he still comes to Gary Con and runs games. Great dude. Editor on like the DMG, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons DMG. So anyway, Mike is there.
So my goal is going to be with this to get everyone who can to sign a box set with the portraits, all the portraits.
That'd be great.
That's one of my goals.
Good auction that for a lot of money. Probably retire.
I'm not looking to retire.
Oh wait, that's not what you want it for? I'm kidding. I thought maybe you would do it for charity or something.
A lot of people come to me because I've been a collector for years, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I have stuff from the 70s in pretty good shape, And people are like, don't you want to sell it? I'm like, are you crazy?
No, all the memories that are there.
Yes, are you crazy?
But I think really, honestly, if we're gonna get one signed, if we can get him to sign 2, and we could auction one off to help.
We could do for charity.
Help.
We could do that at
Gary Con. I think that'd be really that'd be really cool. I just think
let's plan on that.
Yeah,
let's try because it should. If everything works according to plan, we'll ship the digitals in January. We'll drop the digitals in January. Start shipping in February, and by GaryCon, we'll actually be selling. For people who couldn't get it in the Kickstarter, we'll be selling the stuff at GaryCon.
Yeah, and that would go to help Wisconsin Children's Hospital, which is the kind of the charity that we've aligned with. And I think that'd just be fantastic. Good stuff. So, all right. So
Mike, pop back, camera.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh, well done. Look, Luke just popped right into the corner, and it popped. Well done,
Wow.
Mendy. Excellent transition.
Yeah. Did you go to school for this?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, when I went to school, there was no such thing as live streaming. I just want to be very clear.
Camera Mendy,
Back in my days, Sonny Jim, there was no such thing as live streaming.
No, there was no live streaming. Everyone who has done live streaming, who has done what I do, which is like, professional like videography that's pre-recorded, is like, I can't even figure out the live streaming stuff. It is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
And my dear, you're keeping your eye on the chat in case people got questions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Father. All right, so let's keep going. So this, I love the story of this next one.
The next one is Ooraj, which is none other than Tim Kask, the first employee at TSR and editor of Dragon Magazine.
And Jaru was the
Jaru, yeah.
in the village of
Yes,
Hamlet.
yes. So
And we have Raju, who is in the village of Hamlet.
it says Ooraj.
And we also have Uraj.
I was just saying, okay. It said Ooraj, but I know you said Raju. Yeah. So that's Tim Kask, who's a long time friend, and Carlton,
Yes.
who has
Who was great on the game show.
She is.
was- oh, yeah. Oh,
that
she's a hoot.
personality.
She's a hoot. Yeah, she's got a great singing voice too. If she doesn't sing for you guys,
Got to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Next year.
Next
okay.
year.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
We'll have to do like a charisma check. Let her
Oh,
sing.
yeah, let her-
Oh
that's
yeah,
what's so good.
she does like operatic, like opera
Yeah.
kind of singing. Yeah, so she's got a great voice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so Yngwie Sharp-Axe
Large
barrel. Obviously,
Hyphenated.
yes.
I
yes.
love that she hyphenated her
Yeah,
last
yeah.
name.
It is, and that's obviously Stefan and her are partners together, and she does a lot of streaming and voice acting and acting on
a lot of fun.
like appearing on World of Chaldea and that sort of stuff, and doing streams. Played in my game that I ran for the 50 years of D&D celebration on Gen Con TV. I ran the AD&D game. That was a lot of fun. Her and Stefan were in that. That was great. This next one, I'm not sure where'd you get this guy outside of Home Depot or something? I'm not sure where you got this guy from. But underneath that dude, there is Ed Greenwood, of course, who is Riandril, the rhymer Tarvral.
Traval?
Traval.
Is it Tarvral?
Tavral,
Maybe
yes.
is it? I have to look that up to make sure.
Tavral.
Tavral.
The
Yeah,
rhymer Tavral.
Yeah.
clearly
So-
a bard.
Yeah, and Ed's kind of a newer creator in the space. He
Has been around very long.
Yeah, you may have heard of Forgotten Realms before. And some,
No, many people have forgotten the Forgotten Realms.
It was just the realms, and now it's the Forgotten Realms, because it's very forgotten. No.
So, Luke, I got to take a moment
Yeah.
because I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Older kid, but I'm still a kid. And reading the Dragon magazine, and there's these articles that keep getting published by this guy named Ed Greenwood.
Yeah.
And that is the story, right? Is they reached out to him because they wanted to know if he actually had a world to back up all this crap.
Yeah, and so
I use crap in the most endearing way.
stuff, and
Yes.
so obviously my dad parted ways with TSR at a certain point, and so Greyhawk was kind of the center of the D&D universe, right? So they were looking for somewhere to expand into that, and Ed was there, and he had this world that he'd kind of dreamed of during nap time at school as like a first grader or something.
As you would.
Yeah. And he's told that story. I've heard him tell the story. And if you get a chance,
You should
ask
watch
Ed.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, ask Ed in person at GaryCon or another convention. I mean, he's such a nice guy. He's just a really congenial fellow. He's Canadian, so it kind of goes hand in glove with that, I think.
He's very dear.
Really good guy. And if you get a chance to hang out with him, I highly recommend it. But very talented, very imaginative.
And going to write a little module.
Yes,
for
the
Gygax.
Trouble with Rats or something
Trouble
right there.
with
Yeah,
Trouble with Rats.
Trouble with
We
Rats.
almost got to the sequel.
Mm.
Well, might have to do that on the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Ed is great, and he's got a character, Elminster.
Who?
Yeah, not to be confused with his alter ego Elmunster, who's like a Frankenstein monster.
That's a different
Sorry,
guy.
I game on
A dad joke.
Yeah. Well, on we do Legends of World. We stream with Tommy Gofton and Six Sides of Gaming, and so we go to conventions and do live streams and stuff like that. And so I play with Ed and Keith Baker and Elisa Teague and Tommy, and we make tons of dumb jokes all the time. So that was one of them. And we've grown a whole bunch. All right, the guy right underneath there is Matt Everhart. He helps me out at GaxWorks quite a bit. He does a lot of streaming. He runs does like the tech side on a lot of streaming. He also helps me develop merchandise and co-write several modules. So very talented guy.
Yeah,
young,
we love
still
Matt.
young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still young.
Still young.
Youngish.
Youngish, well, whatever. He's in his 40s somewhere. I think.
Yeah, that's youngish.
Youngish for us. And then
Especially for me.
Yeah.
You're youngish for me, sir.
and he's also a colonel in the Air Force, which is pretty
Yes.
cool. Full bird. So no joke. He just got promoted, I think, last year.
If you know what a full bird is, you know a little bit about the military, right?
Yeah.
But that's a big deal to be
It
a
is.
full bird.
It is. That's a big deal. So, Larry Elmore, I think, needs no introduction to
Yeah, if you
any
don't know,
audience.
you need to know.
Yes, you should probably read. You should read up on Larry. Fantastic guy. He is coming to GaryCon 17.
All
He will be there.
right.
He's not going to run a booth. He's just going to hang out and drink bourbon and tell stories with the people, I think, is what he's going to do.
I better buy him a glass.
Yeah. So
a double.
Yep. So Larry is a true treasure to the gaming community. And if you get a chance to hang out and BS with Larry, it is time well spent. So any call, I pick up the phone and talk to Larry. It's at least half an hour. If I just want to ask one single yes or no question, it's a half an hour because he's just it's great conversation. You can't kick it off the phone. All right. So underneath that, we have Gerald Gyzaengaxx.
Which is misspelled, Cameramendi. It's Garold.
Yeah, this is
Gerald.
Well, I'll fix it because I have to fix it in the master
yeah.
one.
This
Okay,
is
good.
this is this is Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Geraldo Gyzaengaxx. Sure.
Yeah, he had a
Different
talk
part
show.
of Zyathé. Yeah, he did. Yeah. I remember he was searching for some sort of like treasure. You opened the box and it was empty. It was very
sad.
no, it was-
Got all the way to the
Yeah,
end.
that was
Everybody was all excited.
Empty treasure box.
Empty treasure.
Yeah,
was
it
terrible.
was terrible.
Terrible. Yes. Bad adventurer. Geraldo.
Geraldo Gyzaengaxx.
Now I feel like we gotta have Geraldo Gygax in the damn tail. Ask the chat. Do we need to have
Chat,
Geraldo
do we need to
Gygax?
have
We'll make up a character. It'll
They're
be
gonna
like,
be
be like your cousin.
This goes with the Soul Train part of the morning. So
Yes, I love a Soul Train in American Bandstand. Geraldo Gygax.
okay. Wow. All right.
Anyway, so
They're saying yes, a journalist.
journalist.
And he has to. The party gets to punch him in the nose.
Yes. You know, if you don't know about Geraldo Rivera, got punched in the nose. He's had quite a storied career.
Yeah. All right. Anyways. All right. Okay. And underneath there's old Grandma Kit, who is Penny Williams. So Penny's been in the gaming scene forever and ever as an editor and done, as some creative contributions and stuff. And then, of course, she married Skip Williams, and she was Penny Petticord, I believe, originally, and is now Penny Williams. Still a very lovely person who comes to GaryCon. And she has some health issues that she put out publicly. So I just wanted to. Yeah, she posted publicly on that yesterday. So if you know Penny, send her a little word of support. I don't want to go too much, but she put it out there. So if you're friends with Penny, go ahead and take a look there and send Skip and Penny your best thoughts and wishes for speedy recovery. Sorry, I didn't want to be a downer or anything, but that just came to mind as I read that.
She's going to
last
get
night.
better.
Yeah, she's going to do great. And underneath Penny, we have Professor Herman Elusius. I can't remember how he pronounces it. Aloysius. That's how I was like, oh dang, it's been. I was like, come on, Gabby.
Aloysius.
Gabby makes it hard to pronounce his name. So I'm used to Armando the Bard.
Armando
so that's what I know very
We need
well.
to sing some goofy song right now, but
Yeah.
we won't sound as good as he sounds.
No, he does a
Yeah.
great.
Mandy.
Yeah. So
Dan the Didactic, Professor DM, right? Dungeon Master.
yeah, that's Professor Dungeon Master, right?
Yes.
Yep. So he's great. I enjoyed talking with him when we did the interview. He's great. Zeb Cook, guy, or sorry,
If you don't know
Zebra
Zeb
Clayfoot.
Cook, you got a problem.
Yeah, Zebra Clayfoot Talk. So great dude. He designed Star Frontiers as well. Yes.
Yeah,
he sure
I
did.
believe he did.
But he may be better known for something else. I can't remember what that was.
Yeah.
Oh wait, second edition D&D. That might have been the thing. Yeah, I'm pulling your leg.
Yeah, I got my legs.
He also did like the Slave Pits, 8-1 through 4. I think he worked on those. Just a ton of stuff. So Zeb, prolific. Also video game career. He's now retired. He helped me run the Founders and Legends tournament earlier this year, which was fantastic. So again, if you get a chance and you want to check that out, there's part 2 to that at GaryCon. We have 7 tickets available. So if you go to play.garycon.com, shameless plug,
Yes.
you can sign up
You
for
should
the.
go. I mean, then we have a great time, don't we, cameraman?
Yeah.
I mean, GaryCon
Absolutely.
is really fun.
And if you really want like the super experience, sign up for the Hero of the Realm badge, and you'll get to play that special tournament on Monday and Tuesday prior to.
Yeah, that's right. That's the early
Yeah.
in.
Yes,
And
it
Luke,
is.
we got to run a game for backers.
We do.
Right?
Well,
we do.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that afterwards.
Okay. Sorry.
When I
there's-
have to-
All right. I'm
It is,
sorry.
it is
sorry.
11 a.m.
Okay, we
Oh,
gotta
we're-
finish. Okay, we gotta
I'm
finish.
see. I'm a little long-winded. And
No,
I'll
you're doing
get to it.
great.
Yeah. All right. So Nellie Clayfoot, obviously Helen Cook. That's Zeb's lovely bride, who's also at Gary Con. Great lady. I've known her since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And underneath that, we have Emmanuel.
Manny Ortiz. Yes.
Manny.
Who is really dicey.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't recognize the name, and then of course the picture doesn't help me, and I can't
No,
see
no,
see their emails
and he
anymore.
actually
So that
wants
was
to
a clue.
Sorry.
And Emmanuel wants to be a villain.
Mm.
Excuse
Well,
me,
now
cameraman.
you've messed it up. He could have just so much for undercover.
I
Well,
don't know.
well,
When
he
you look
says
at
he
the
wanted
portrait,
to
it does look
be-
a little creepy.
Wanted to be a villain, didn't say he was.
Ah,
He
yes,
ended
it's
up
true.
being the nicest
This
guy
could be a
ever.
red herring. This
Yeah,
could be
exactly.
could be misinformation happening here right now.
I
Then
just said he wanted to be a villain. I didn't go any further than
Yeah,
that, right?
exactly. Mike Dunn, who's works for
Gaming
He's a
trend.
founder.
Gaming Trend.
Oh,
There you
He's
go.
a
Gaming
founder of
He's a
Gaming
founder of Gaming
Yeah.
Trend. Well, I didn't even know that. I just
Yeah.
thought he just did reporting. So founder Gaming Trend.
20 years, I think.
Yeah, I know he's been doing it for a minute. He's been
long
involved
time.
with that. So
Yes.
all right, who's under that? We got
Ron Burke is
Scroll-
also
yeah,
from
scroll
Gaming
it up.
Trend. Yeah.
sorry about that. Ron Burke. Oh, Jasmine Buller, who's that bronze girl, does streaming. She made a character really cool, like witchy kind of brew.
I mean, again, you
brews and
start
stuff.
looking at these,
Yeah.
thinking about all these clues that we could do. So I thought about, what if we did a clue deck?
Oh my gosh,
What do you
would
think about
actually,
that?
That would be pretty.
So that way you
It
can
could
get a different clue from different, right?
Each campaign would play just a bit differently.
That'd
right?
be very interesting.
It would be kind of.
What does the chat think about that? I'd love to hear their
I like
comments.
the idea.
I
Yeah.
love Camera Mendy. We're asking the chat.
Yeah, because
Camera
would-
Mendy's always trying to insert
would-
herself.
it would personalize your game a little bit more, and even if one of the clever players got a copy of it and read it, they wouldn't be able to.
Correct.
Yeah.
They,
They
like
would-
they like the idea.
All right,
Good
we'll think
idea.
about that.
Yes to the clue decks. Yes, good idea. A clue deck sounds great. LOL.
All right.
And this
Camera
is
Mandy is the chat. Thank you.
Camera Mendy is
Thank
the chat.
you, Smoked Gouda. I
yeah,
appreciate
Smoked
you.
Gouda. I don't smoked Gouda.
Clue
See,
deck sounds
this-
great. Camera
see-
Mandy opinion is the only one that matters. So,
I am abused.
You're outnumbered.
okay.
All right.
And this is Todd Putnam
Todd.
from
Creative Adventure
Creative
Tables.
Adventure Tables.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he did a gnome. So we're
Yep,
excited about
pretty
him. And
pretty
of course,
cool.
This is a wonderful.
Oh yeah. Kelsey.
Yes. Go.
Kelsey Dion, Kelsera Dane. So some of you may have heard of a game called Shadow Dark in the Arcane Library,
Yes.
which is Kelsey, and she's doing great stuff.
She won a bunch of Ennies.
4 Ennies for like best everything, gold Ennies, right? So the
Yes.
top dog. She crushed it. So she did a fantastic job. She was also one of the designers and DMs for the Founders and Legends tournament earlier this year. So she did a fantastic job. And I know she has a Kickstarter coming up that'll be
I'll be
right
backing
around
it.
right around the Gary Con timeframe as well. So obviously I think I have 3 of her Shadow Dark rule sets in my house. I made sure to buy one at Gen Con just to support her. And I told her she wasn't there, so she has to sign it. I just said, messenger today. Don't forget you have to sign my book when I see you next. So
And this is roll for sandwich.
Oh
yes,
yes, Jacob. Yes. I met Jacob in the hallways. I was walking by in Gen Con, and he stopped to say hi, and I was like, "Oh, it's just someone who wanted to say hi to me," and that's great. I was like, "Ah, get away from!" No, I didn't say that. It was good. And he's like, "Hey, I'm Jacob. It's a roll for sandwich." I was like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." Yeah, so it was great. So I
How was
chatted
your
with him.
sandwich?
I was actually really good. It was
Oh.
actually quite good. I thought it would taste terrible, but the watermelon was really, really nice on it.
I
So-
seem to remember I watched that. I watched that one. Yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was really good. I watched some of the other stuff that gets put on those
Yeah.
sandwiches. Oh my god, I dodged a bullet.
Well, even
There's-
the Gooey Cube sandwich that he did, I was like, ugh. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But no, really nice guy. Really
And has
nice
a
dude.
wonderful roll for sandwiches. A wonderful little stream.
It is.
to
Yeah,
watch.
you should check it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's very obviously just something that he started doing for fun, and I think it's grown into something notable. And
that you wouldn't have expected.
yeah, no, and he does a great job with it, and some very interesting things. So that was great. Then underneath that, I'm so glad that we were able to get James Ward to do a character for us. So he's Ward Oz the Magnificent, and of course Jim passed away in March, right before GaryCon. So glad that we were able to include him in this. And then we have Gillum Stoneforge, who last name I don't recognize, so you're going to have to help me out.
Scroll it up, cameraman.
It's Chris Lindsay.
Yeah, it's Chris Lindsay.
Oh,
and it hides
I know Chris Lindsay.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't see the face very well.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
And if I had, even with my glasses on, I'm still a little.
And some of these portraits nobody has seen yet because they were produced after we finished the Kickstarter.
It's true. It's true.
So Chris Lindsay used to work for Wizards, and now he's striking out and doing his own thing. But great dude, really fun to game with, and he's worked on a ton of projects.
We were really excited to have Chris and Mike be a part of this and be able to honor them. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yes, they both have been very, very important to the community. This other guy, Merles, not sure. No, Mike Merles.
You don't know Mike Merles? That's another one you need to look up.
So he's kind of the lead designer on 5e. Also, just a fantastic gamer, amazing DM. Love playing with him. Probably some of the obviously top 10 games I've ever played have been like one or probably two of them have been with Mike Merles. So it's excellent DM. Really enjoy him a lot. He now works for Chaosium as like their lead designer, kind of overseeing all their product lines.
I didn't know that. That's exciting.
Yeah. So he's working with Jeff Richard now and Rick Meintz over at Chaosium. Very excited for that. And he was also one of the designers for the Founders and Legends tournament that we were in. So in one of the DMs. So really great dude. And he's Kel Vendine. Or how would you pronounce it with a little accent? Vendine?
Vendine.
Okay. All right. And then underneath him, we have Steve Sullivan, who's an illustrator and editor and also author these days now. But he was kind of a graphic designer, map-making guy way back in TSR. So I've known him since I was knee-high to a grasshopper as well.
And wanted to be a deeping dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really very cool.
Yeah.
I know we're going late, but I need to know what that phrase means, knee-high to a grasshopper.
I was a little kid.
Well, I know what that means,
yeah.
but what?
You're only as tall as a grasshopper's knee.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm using some old-timey expressions. I apologize. I've known him since I was just a wee lad.
A wee
Is that
lad.
a better term? Okay.
No, I like the knee-high to a grasshopper. I didn't get it.
Yep.
Sorry.
No sweat.
Okay.
That's no problem. Yep. And then underneath him, I'm not sure.
Keep scrolling up.
Ted Adams and Dave Bryant.
Dave Friant.
Yep.
Friant.
So I can't remember because I'm drawing because I might move it up.
I believe that they are for with Nerd-Archy.
They're Nerd-Archy.
The Nerd-Archy guys. That's right.
Both of them.
Yep. And I know I've met them.
I think they were at Gary Con.
Yep. And I think they've been. So I've met them a couple times. I don't think I've been on their show ever or any of that sort of stuff. So but yeah, I recognize them.
See that? If you're watching, gentlemen, it's time to get Luke on your show. Yes. But
good
really,
dudes. I've watched their show. I've watched Nerd-Archy, a few different episodes that are quite good.
And of course, the enigmatic and exceptional Egg Embry.
Oh yes, Egg Embry. Yes.
Who is also Egg Embry, right? Who's written? I mean, if you have most people in this industry have read his stuff, right? And he is also an Inzandra Oz. So we have two Inzandra Oz, which I'm pretty excited about. So we're going to probably have Matt and Egg's characters somehow interrelated, and we'll figure that out.
Eggatorial Eggtra. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, I think these are the last 4.
And of course, you might know these peoples.
Yes. So obviously we've got Bushra, my lovely bride, Miriam, Amira, and Sabrina.
And it's Baushira, not Dashira.
Yeah. She will laugh at that because, well, I don't know if. Anyway, her name is pronounced Bushra.
Bushra.
Right? And if some people mispronounce that and put a D in there instead of a B, it can be a totally different kind of word.
Oh, God.
Yes. So.
Okay, I will go change it.
Yes. Bushira.
Bushira, yes.
Okay, let's get that right, cameraman.
So yeah.
Oh, well, the old stream took another turn. And she is lovely. And,
yes.
And I just want to say last night she said some very nice words to my dear Miss Goo, because we have been through a terrible year. And
yes.
She was. Diane told me when she came home. She said she was just so kind. So I don't think she's watching, but you tell her. All right.
I will. Bless you.
Anyway, but you didn't let us finish who the last 4 characters were.
Oh, okay. Well,
there you go.
You were just getting all depressing. So.
Sorry, I don't need to be depressing.
Yeah.
Bushira Gyzaengaxx, Miriam Gyzaengaxx, Amira Gyzaengaxx, and Zabine Gyzaengaxx.
Zabine. Yep.
Yeah.
So you get to meet the whole family.
Yeah. And they loved posing for those pictures and doing that whole thing.
Yeah, because you took pictures. They were all in there. Poses and all. It was great.
Yeah. They got in a little cosplay kind of stuff, and then they helped the artist get some ideas.
Really. And and Benjo did most of these portraits. Benjo has been really great for us and a wonderful helper. and we've helped Benjo, which I'm pleased. I told you, through the years, we've lost artists because they got exposure with us and got jobs with studios and things like that, and I miss them.
Yeah,
but I'm pleased.
Yeah,
right?
you can't blame somebody for being successful and then getting better paying
Yes,
work. That's just how it is,
Absolutely, without question.
Yeah.
So, cameraman, I'm wondering about time here. Is there?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up.
So we got to wrap up.
It's 11:11.
So, Luke, anything you want to tell anybody about Gary Con and
yeah,
such
sure,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. Gary Con is happening March 20th to 23rd, 2025, in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
We'll all be there, gooing it up.
Yes, we have about 700 silver badges left, so out of about 33,000-ish, and we may add some more depending on events. Like 700, I think. Last time I looked, 700. So we're still doing pretty good. All the other badges are sold out.
Yeah, it's the silver.
Yeah. Oh, I think it'll sell out. So yeah, please don't wait. If you want to come, please don't wait. It'll sell out. So I think we sold out in November last year. Yeah, or late November, early December, and then we evaluate events. How many events we have, and we make a determination. We can release more or not, and if we can, because it's about the experience. It's not about how many people I can jam into a hall. Right. It's how many people can sit at tables and be actively gaming at a time, and we try to keep that at about 80%. So 20% can be having a meal, talking to friends, walking the vendor hall. But I want most of the people to be able to have a seat in games and playing games, because that's what Gary Con is about. It's about playing games and having fun and honoring the roots. And that's honestly the way you honor the roots of gaming and honor gaming, is by having a good time and welcoming new players and old players alike. So badges are on sale. I have a Kickstarter coming up in September. So you can just go to my social media at Luke Gygax. You'll find information there. And that's probably, I will be at Dragon Con in a couple weekends. I'll be there doing some panels, and I'll be at the Shadow Alley Press booth, doing some signings there and selling some of my stuff from Okram, as well as my historical fiction book, Gygax Odyssey, that I wrote
which I got a wonderful copy of. Thank you yesterday.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Signed by Luke.
Yep. So I'll have a few of those there. Not many. I'll have a few there that I can sign if people want them. If you want to get an audiobook or a electronic copy or a hard print copy, you can get it on Amazon. Just search Gygax Odyssey. It'll come up. I wrote it with J. Clifton Slater. Historian, great guy, and we're working on book number 2, Cyclops. So that'll be good. And let's see what else. Oh, so Dragon Con, Gamehole, and Lucca are the conventions that I'll be at in Lucca Comics and Games in Italy. So.
Oh, that's right. You're going out there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, taking the family to Dragon Con. So if you want to see my wife and kids, they'll be out there, as well as to Lucca.
Wow. Yeah, you'll eat a little pasta.
Exactly. Yeah,
drink a little wine.
Yeah. They're dedicating a street in the walled medieval city to my dad and Dave Arneson. So they wanted me there to kind of be there for that, to kind of represent the Gygax family. So I'll be there doing that. I think that's really, really incredible and cool.
That's fantastic.
There'll be a beautiful art display that's out there that Matthew Coder and John Peterson have put together in a 17th century chapel, like 140 pieces or something like that of D&D art that'll be on display out there.
When is that?
That's October 30th to like November 3rd, I think, or something like that in Lucca, Italy. I'll probably be out there a little bit beforehand so that I can. I think the art exhibit will open a few days before that as well and run through. And I'm obviously going to try to take as much time as I can.
I might have to look at the budget.
Yeah, it might be fun to get out
Goo
there.
And I could pop out there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an absolute riot. It's supposed to be just fantastic.
Wow.
Now, it'll be super crowded. It's a medieval city that can hold like 35,000 people, and there'll be like 100,000 people there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's in Italy.
Yeah, Lucca, Italy. Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
It's about half an hour from Pisa.
Okay.
By train, 20 minutes, half an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you're getting me thoughtful.
Yeah,
so
I believe that's Tuscany.
Thoughts.
I believe that's Tuscany.
Tuscany, yes.
And Stefano will be there. Probably Joe Manganello will be there. So
you don't want me to go?
We have so much to do.
Oh, yeah, it's a terrible time. Don't go.
All right. So Gary Con is magnificent. We will be there with the Gooey people. Mandy's got, I think we're running 3 tables of games the whole time.
Yes.
So we'll be doing that. And then we'll have a little booth. And if everything works out, which it should, we'll have Gyzaengaxx materials for sale at Gary Con after they've been shipped to the people who backed us in the Kickstarter.
Yes.
But Luke, it's a lot. It's thousands of copies.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So if I think there's like 3,000 copies that you have to produce.
3,000.
Yeah. And then there's probably people who will want to buy it afterwards
Yes.
too, once they get a chance to see it.
Yes, and
So-
wait, and just, I mean, and we shouldn't announce the title yet. You and I talked about
Yeah.
that, right?
Mhm.
But I know when people hear the sequel, right, which we're
Yes.
going to try to launch the Kickstarter there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are going to be like, what? I think
Yeah.
this is going to happen.
So, yeah, I mean, this one's based on T1,
Yes.
so that would be a hint.
Yes, excellent hintage. Very good. I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Is that all we got?
Next
Cameraman?
week,
No
yes, I will
questions in
say
the
next
chat?
next week we are going to be going through the Gen Con stuff because I had pulled a bunch of stuff from
Oh, we
Gen
got
Con.
we got to show.
Yeah, so
all
to
that.
next week we will be doing a Gen
But
Con
this was a
wrap-up.
surprise visit.
This
you
was
know,
such
right?
a this was important to have Luke on. So yeah. Anyway, but let's wrap up and because I have
Yeah.
stuff to do on Saturday. It's
What?
11:15.
Really, cameraman D?
I'm sorry. I was gone all
Where is
last
your
weekend.
dedication to the
That's right.
Goo?
I was gone all last weekend. I have children to see.
So, yes, you'll have to
Yes.
save your Soul Train and American Bandstand questions
Yes.
until next week.
Exactly. So, all right. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you, my friends. Luke, may all your adventures.
Be sticky.
Ha ha!